Be back in just a minute, folks. I have to go turn something down. Just give me a moment. I promise I won't leave you all hanging at the very end. Okay, here I am. Just give me a minute to stretch my back out before we start. Then I'll hop up in the hot seat. Okay. Sorry, I didn't say the thing I was supposed to say about moving the microphone stand. My bad. Something to get used to. Anyway, here we are again for the final time with this video game. Thank God, because I couldn't take no more. Oh, I had to go turn down the thermostat on the house because the thermostat controls the radiators in this house. And my mother came over today because we've been baking Christmas cookies for the past few days since I got done with school. And she has poor blood circulation, probably because I don't know that she eats the right foods to have good blood circulation. So because she has poor blood circulation, she had to turn up the heat. And I walked into this room readying the stream after the heat kicked back on again, and I took one litmus test of the atmosphere of the room, and I said, oh no, absolutely not. I'm gonna be sweating my balls off in here if I leave that thing up, so I had to go turn it back down. She turned it up to 66 Fahrenheit. That's pretty hot for radiators. I don't know if anybody knows this, but that's pretty hot for radiators. So I had to turn it back down. Not too bad. Cole and I are okay, Cole's a little more warm-blooded than I am. He likes to open the windows when it's about 40 degrees outside. I'm okay. I don't need that as much. I'll just walk outside if I need the fresh air, but yeah, no, 66 is too hot. So for me, personally, it's too hot. Especially with a room with a door. Speaking of doors, where one loading zone Actually, that's not even true. We're in front of the door that leads to the final dungeon. That's the point here. And frankly, it's weird because there's usually like a sense of calm that I feel in the final streams that we do for each of these projects. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm satisfied with the work I've done. I'm glad that it's over. I enjoyed the playthrough, but I'm also glad to be moving to the next projects. I don't feel that sense of calm today. It could just be my blood boiling because I've got work still to do while I'm slowly dying. But it could also be the fact that I won't feel that sense of calm until I know for a fact that this game is over and done with. Because I'm that ready to be done. But that means that we shouldn't waste any time, so let's get moving. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the finale, excuse me, of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, the Stream Edition. Last time we finished up our time with the House of Sorrows, where the game played its favorite trope card, its favorite cliche. Betrayal at the 11th hour.
We're nearly there.
And then we beat our way through the entirety of Alabastra, and now today we're gonna finish up our time in Alabastra because, well, this is the House of Vengeance, and, Gadflow's not too far past that, so 119 damage longsword, that's not awful. That being said, my bow does more damage than that, so I don't think I particularly need that. Oh, good. My friends are already getting into massive trouble out here. I love that. So I guess we'll just join them in the process here. Oh, good. One of my things fell off. Agarth, we're not done. We still got some work to do, my friend. You thought you were slick. You thought you could come in behind me and, I don't know, do something about it. You were wrong, and now you will die in the corner just like your friend. Alright, well, anyway. Sidan's still around. Agarth's still around. Our backup is dead, but that's okay. We've got these two. They're still hanging in there. I don't think either of them die now that I think about it, but... Oh, nice. We're just going to leave those guys there to celebrate whatever the hell they're celebrating. That's fine. One less encounter for me to deal with. I've already got my fate bar pretty much at full at the moment, so it wouldn't matter too much because I'd just, you know, finish it up right there. How long is this map anyway? There's a hidden door over there, but I really, at this point, like, I don't care. I am ready. I am ready to be done. Here you go, Sidan. Rude. Alright, you're next. And, oh, okay. Arrow guy's right here. Got him. Got you now. Wasn't sure where you were. Alright, I guess I'll get rid of that guy too. And all of those guys. No, I think I'll leave you with your Hexweave shoes. I'm pretty sure. Actually, are Hexweave the top tier? I think they're actually the 4th tier, and I think Spirit Weave is the top tier, if I remember correctly. So, I wonder if they run faster because I'm running faster. That'd be interesting. I guess it's fine, you know. Love how we're just beating the shit out of these guys, and some of them are just like, hey, so pray to the god thing.
Another offering for Godfather.
Oh wow, that guy went for a ride. His momentum appears to have gotten a little out of control there. Just a thought. I guess if that's what you want to do, game, just get me stuck on something, that's fine too. I can do that. Tiberian Helm. Interesting. Oh, extra health and mana regen. This might actually be pretty decent. If it was part of a set, it'd be even better. Piercing and bleeding resistance and extra health and mana regen. Queen Rhirda's extravagantly enchanted helmet has never been worn in battle. What does this look like? Looks like too sci-fi for a game like this, but it's cool. I'll stick it in my trophy collection. Why not? You guys having fun over here? Xaidan's dead, I think, actually. I don't think Agarth can die. As far as I'm aware, he's essential. But Xaidan, I guess not so much. Actually, no. Probably Xaidan is gonna, yeah, pop back up after the fight's over, because, like I said, as far as I know, these guys are both... Oh, piercing damage. That's not terrible for chakrams. As far as I know, these guys are both quote-unquote marked as essential, so they'll get downed in combat, but they won't stay down. They'll appear dead, and then they'll immediately jump back up. So... Here you go, Xaidan. Well, you... I'm actually just gonna, yeah, do that. There we go. Anybody bugging Xaidan over here? Yep. You get your ass over here. You hit my stun thing. Okay. Knock him right into the frost trap that I still had set over here. Here you go, Xaidan. Just casually setting them up for you so you can knock them down. Give them a trap in case they decide to walk over here while my back is turned for some reason. Oh, there's another priest. Nagarth's taking all the hate there, so that's pretty good. I'll take it. Thought the guy behind me was gonna... Oh, good. Now I'm on the hate. And I have to scratch my shoulders. I'll just throw my shield up, it's fine. That'd be like Al Bhed saying Al Bhed. Like, I feel like that's not strictly necessary. Game, keep up. Enough of the frame drops. Let's keep this up. Am I aiming at the right guy? I think so. Wasn't sure if my lunge was gonna make it there. The game is really chugging today. It's probably not a good sign. It's probably a better sign that I'm basically done with it, because then I don't have to worry about it chugging anymore. I guess there's a sage crafting altar over there in case you decided to do a little bit of crafting in the end game dungeon. That's fine, I suppose. Give Sidan some traps. For the guy that's running directly towards him, Sidan can, I guess, run away from the traps that I just so graciously put down for him. I love it when the AI just does what it wants. I was gonna say, I wonder if one of those tornadoes is gonna come towards me.
Another victory.
Grab that aggro for me there, Agar.
Well fought.
Perfect. Alright. Well, we're not quite at 31 yet, but we're definitely getting there. Master Health Regen Potion. No thank you. Don't really need that. It's kind of bright in here, considering... I mean, I guess we're getting a good skylight out of those parts. I just didn't expect it to be this bright in the final castle, you know what I mean? Like, I expected Gadflow to basically be the only light that you see be like the glow of the Prismere crystals or something. Oh, good. We're basically at the boss fight. Fantastic. I was going to say, I'm going to go out of the way and say that the Cur is just going to kind of attack us. That's fine, I guess. What else is coming towards me? Oh, okay. Just hit him while he's distracted and stunned. He's basically very similar to Dren from my understanding, so if you fight him the same way, you'll probably get about the same mileage out of him. Oh good, he's summoning the Scaru now. We all know I can handle Niskaru, so... I guess my lunge was too much there. I guess Agard's got the Cur's attention, at least for now. It's getting kind of crazy in here, huh? That's okay. I was concentrating on the rhythm there with the, whatchamacallit. Oh. I don't know what that was all about. Have a stun, friend. And another one. Beautiful. I'm gonna feed the worms with your corpse in a second, Cur. Man, we're just annihilating this guy, aren't we? Alright, well, there's some Niskaru, so I think we just annihilate them and then annihilate the Cur and finish him off. Okay. And off you go. You will never be at the summit of the House of Vengeance again. You will not feed the cycle, you will simply drown in it. Level 31. Agarth.
That was amazing. You're twice the hero I ever was, or could have been.
Well, to be fair, I'm like almost twice your age now, so...
We're stretched too thin, and we've lost too much.
Yeah, we almost lost Sidan back there.
I will hold the gate for you as long as we can, but Bale is nearly deserted. Head in, face Gadflow, end this.
Can do. I'll be right back.
Good plan. I promise not to die if you don't. Just make sure you put a stop to Gadflow.
Considering how badly we beat up the Cur, I don't think Gadflow will give me any trouble.
Involves sharing drinks and war stories around a cozy fire.
I wouldn't bet on that.
Trust me, I'm a fate weaver.
You've been wrong before. Alright, anyway. Indomitable. Nice. That's not bad. Extra elemental resistance. An ancient Age of Heroes Fae. Design invested with potent modern Leosulfar sorceress enchantments. I almost absolutely messed that one up. Oh, this is the Kurz stuff. So if you've been doing a might build and you haven't really been bothering with like, okay, I don't feel like crafting or anything like that, this is probably your best armor set in the game, the Vengeance set, because you get his entire set for free. So there you go. Perfect. So the Cuirass gives you extra magic, ranged, and melee block efficacy. With each piece, you get better stuff. You get increase to your physical damage, increase to your elemental resistance, and I guess you get some ice damage on top of it. So that's cool to make it so that your foes are slowed down. So again, a pretty good investment for a might build, because might builds don't generally have a lot of access to good like status effects. So the ice damage added on top of that should be pretty good. First claimed by the Hulgun the Hungry from the corpse of an unnamed foe, the stone and steel plates of this armor were painted with blood every night for 6 months. God damn. The face swirls have since worn away, but now it greedily drinks any blood spilled by its master or their victims. Alright then, this gives extra health. Same stuff. This gives extra armor. And the reprisal stuff is also part of the Vengeance set, so just in case that wasn't clear. This gives extra mana. And these give ice resistance. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's not terrible. Lots of extra Essence of Fate there, though. That's kind of nice. So I don't think we got, like, any out of, whatchamacallit there. Corroding Daggers. Whatever. I'll just take them. I don't think we got any out of, Bizarane, if I remember correctly. So it's kind of nice to be able to get a little bit of extra there, I suppose. Alright, well anyway, we leveled up, so I guess we'll just get Sagecraft to level 8, so that way it's all done. I don't know what the hell we'd level up after this, but to be fair, I don't think we'll level up again before the end of the game. If we do, it'll probably be like at the very end, you know, like when we're done with the game anyway, so it doesn't matter if we level up or not. Anyway, we'll put the last 2 points here, and that will actually give us access to this top tier. So if you had Smoke Bomb and you were working on that, you can now get Poison Bomb, which basically whenever you throw the Smoke Bomb down, so once every 60 seconds when you throw it down, not only will it stun your foes and make you undetectable, it will also add poison damage to that. And that synergizes really, really well with Mysterious Toxins, because every level of Mysterious Toxins, up to 5, you'll get an increased chance, so an extra 10% chance, that whenever a poisoned enemy dies, it will create a giant explosive poison cloud that just explodes and blasts a whole bunch of enemies in an area, and it will deal more damage with every level that you put in. I think it ends up capping at like 350 damage, maybe 400. So that's not bad. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but still really good. So a lot of the top tier finesse stuff is really good. We didn't really get to test out Gambit. You throw a bunch of bombs down all over the place, and they shoot when the enemies hit them. It shoots them straight up in the air, and then they fall flat on their face. So it's pretty cool. And there's a whole bunch of extra ones. You can hold down Gambit in order to charge up a whole bunch more traps. It costs a lot of mana, but yeah, it's okay. Paralytic poisons. I mean, I guess it's okay. Just a little bit of a chance to stun, but as you can see, the reason why all these things are only a little bit of chance to stun is because stun is really powerful. Execution, I guess, is there for the extra bonus damage if you get the bleed proc, but whatever. The main one that you want if you've been using bow and arrows, you're going to want to work on Scattershot. Probably won't get a whole ton out of this, because right now the only thing it's going to give us is 1 charged arrow and 2 uncharged arrows when you charge up your shot. But yeah, basically it replaces your charged shot with your bow. With a scatter shot. Now, the scatter shot will shotgun enemies if they're large enemies, so like if we fought a troll and we scatter shotted the troll from point blank, all 3 of the arrows would hit, but it's not really incredible until you get up to level 5 and you get like 7 charged arrows. Then it's really good. So, alright, but anyway, that takes care of that. Get rid of that. We have almost 1,000 health, so that's pretty massive, but that's okay. We probably won't we don't want to go over. I mean, it's fine if we do, but we don't need it. You know, I mean, honestly, we don't need the about 500 of the health that we have currently, but, you know. We'll just, really, it doesn't matter how much health we have as long as we have enough health regen to get it back when I'm playing a little more defensively, so. Oh, if you're an alchemist, by the way, it's probably a great idea to pick up a whole bunch of Prismeer dust around here, because there is a ton of it just scattered around Alabastra. So it's probably the easiest place to get some. If you need any for your alchemical effects. Alright, well, we passed through the House of Vengeance, so now onward and upward, I suppose. In Baal, or Baile. Can I help you? Is that the mountain god deciding to have the mountain erupt? Well, somebody killed all these people. Okay. And that somebody would be Aelin Shear. See, I told you she'd be
My
here.
deepest apologies for not being able to join the battle.
Do you have trouble with the Tuatha, or you had trouble with Ventrinio? Fair enough. So what did he do that deserved murder this time?
He attacked me. It was only a matter of time before his greed got the better of him.
Great.
The closer we got to Baal, the more obsessed he became with Tianok, and with harnessing Tianok's power, just like Gadflow did.
He got way too close to those
That's why he
Prismere
had to
crystals,
be
didn't he?
stopped, and why we need to talk about our mission.
Alright, fair enough. So lay it on me.
I wasn't sure I could trust you. You're not the same person you used to be.
To be fair, apparently I was a
We're
mage in the
running out of
past, so...
time. I'll explain as we go. Lead on.
Alright.
I'm right behind you.
I thought we were in a hurry. What do you mean you're right behind me? Alright, anyway, so she'll explain the story to you nice and slow in case you haven't been following along at this point. But that's okay. We'll just make do with it. And ideally, there will be slightly less Tuatha to kill in the process of doing this, but yeah, see how one of the arrows kind of went off to the side there? It's because we actually shot 3 arrows out of there.
Is your end.
Can you keep the priest busy there, Aelin, while I take care of the Niskaru? Probably shouldn't do the Niskaru up first before I take care of the priest since he's summoning them, but...
You need to carry on a duty.
Oh, it's just going to interrupt your dialogue that's talking about the very important things that this game wants me to know about its plot. Alright, then. If I remember correctly, I don't think there's anything that she says that you couldn't just, like, discern from the general gist of the story so far, you know? Like, look at all this Prismere dust. Good lord, man. And we don't need a hard chest dispelled. Note to anyone, this is free. This advice is free to any developers who are listening, for some reason, that want to know what best practices are when you're developing a game with lots of loot in it. Don't make it so that your treasure chests, like, make sure your treasure chests are leveled, basically. I was going to say don't, but that doesn't really make as much
army
sense.
arose, we recognized Tianok's tainted influence. Only a force like her could warp eternal creatures like the Fae. So you came to infiltrate Alabastra, find Tianok, and seal her away forever. And you used Ventrinio to get in, under the guise of being his assistant.
So I must have leveled into persuasion in the previous life as well, because I was a master manipulator. But yeah, so if you're gonna make a loot game, you're gonna need to make sure that the loot, like, I don't know, like, is actually level appropriate when you have a chest that has, like, requires master lockpicking in order to open. Make sure that loot is leveled based on the level of the lockpicking that you have to do in order to get it. Because if you don't, well, you end up with a situation like this, where it becomes less and less necessary the further along you go in the game for the character that you're playing as to actually bother opening any of this stuff. So. You, having fun over there, Aelin?
Pathetic. If you had
Oh,
to
whoops.
die,
Court was still as
even though the
fallen
Fate
snow
Weaver
as the
said you were
jester
doomed,
danced and capered.
as always,
Juggling knives and
Fate
torches,
Weavers
he
were
sang
right.
to his lords and ladies, but none smiled.
Why do they
Eyebrow raised,
have
snipping
lore stones in
Jasper
here when
visited.
Aelin has to
Not
wax
even when he took the
monologue to
crown
you?
from his head.
Isn't that kind of like
Because this was the day that
counterintuitive?
Gadflow murdered the Winter Court. This was the day the Tuatha were born, and our
hello
people
there.
became a sacrifice for Tyrna.
General Kenobi. And here I was gonna waste my fate bar on this. That's not necessary. Look at how easily they're all getting killed. I mean, even Aelin got a kill there. That's
When I
how
found
easy
you
they
in
were to
Dying
kill.
Path, when I saw you had come back to life, I wasn't sure how much you remembered. I couldn't be certain you would keep our secrets.
Well, to be fair, the lack of memory did in fact keep our
Very well.
secrets.
Nothing personal. You would have done the same to me.
Really.
I saw what you had become. I saw the new powers you wielded, and I saw how useful you could be.
See, when you phrase it like that, it sounds like you were using me for this. To be fair, I'm a weapon of mass destruction, so I can't really blame you, but like...
No more delays.
Oh, they came in sideways that time. Nice. Anyway. While the troll is having fun with Aelin, I'll just take out the archers so they're not a problem. Looks like she's got one of them on the ropes, so... That was kind of nice. I got the extra slow motion.
No more delays.
Nice.
When I saw you change fate, you were our only choice. So I hope to continue your mission to stop Tiamak, even if you've forgotten. Whatever time.
Can we talk about this after we beat up the prisoner troll, please? Good thought. Scratching my eye, sorry. Couldn't bother with the block there.
This is your end.
Alright, anyway.
This is no time to dawdle.
I was trying to pick up the
Lead
item,
on. I'm
actually.
right behind you.
Who was I can ask her. I guess I'll do that in a moment.
Since the Alabaster War was young, the beautiful bone-white forest was a place of peace and meditation. No piercing birdsong nor heated word could find its way between the branches. Quiet thought prevailed until Gadflow shattered. The Tuatha's crimson axes chopped the forest for arrow shafts.
Wow.
And Tyrnak's
That's not very
prisoner
nice.
spires rose up to consume what remained. Now our forest is shattered, and screams of warfare fill its skies.
Just wade through them. Absolutely tanking the frame rate.
Last time you came here, you were destined to die. This time, your destiny is up to you.
See what I mean, though? Like, it doesn't really add anything to the story that you've already got. Like, there aren't any details, really, that
The greatest heroes of
you
Winter
couldn't just have
always
gotten
fought
from
in
somewhere
Vale's
else.
pale boughs.
So,
From Pietra the Keen to Hulgan the Humble, when the Tuatha claimed dominance over us, heroes arose to defend Winter. Gadflow laughed at their challenge and called up Tyrnak's wrath. In a second, our most loyal heroes
This is your end.
Our heroes were gone, never to be reborn, and our people succumbed to Gadflow's madness.
oh, he still had some room for me there. Alright, fair enough.
Bleed, mortal!
Good, you're right here with me now. And and somehow managed to avoid everything I just did despite me being right on top of you. That's great. Alrighty, next, Master Piercing Fulcrum. Guess that would be kind of okay.
Now we have a chance to finally complete our mission. Let's put an end to Gadflow before his bargain frees Tiernok on the world.
Probably a good idea, actually. Might have missed one of the Bale Stones, unless it's over here right before Gadflow's throne room. In the Court of Winter. But what do I
This
care?
must have been a lot for you to take in at once.
To be fair, I barely took in any of it at all because you were talking while we were fighting.
And what you need to do. A lot has changed since you were here last. It isn't going to be as easy this time. And last time it killed you.
You keep talking like this, I'm gonna think that you're worried about me. Alright, so let's get all the answers. So who exactly was I?
We were supposed to keep Tiernok hidden from the world. Anyone who learned too much had to die. But
Why,
when
is it
Gadflow
like
found her,
believing in
you were
her
the one
brings her into the
volunteered to
world?
Kill him and seal Tiernok away once more, even though you were fated to fail. It took every trick we had to get you here the first time, and you still died.
Well, yeah, I
don't know
mean,
if you
fate was
planned to be
absolute before.
resurrected, but knowing you, I wouldn't be surprised.
How was I supposed to know that was gonna happen? We didn't even know we could change fate previously.
She's a creature with incredible power. A dragon.
Oh good, the final boss is a dragon. As if this game didn't already draw enough cliches.
Thousands of years ago, the ancient Alpha sealed her in the Amethyst between this world and the world of magic. And there she went mad.
She wasn't mad before that? Why did they seal her if she wasn't mad before that?
Gain enough power to break free. And if she escapes fully, it will mean the end of all mortal life. Tiernok's revenge for tens of thousands of years of imprisonment. That's why people like you and I have dedicated our lives to keeping Tiernok secret from the world.
Uh-huh. Alright, so I'm guessing after Gadflow dies, we can go take care of that, right?
Everyone who knows the truth of Tiernok will be dead, and Tiernok
Except
will be
us.
sealed away once again. We can return to our duty of keeping the knowledge secret.
Because, you know...
Assuming that's the life you want to return to. But if you refuse, then I'd have to make sure you never tell the truth about Tiernok.
Well, that sounds ominous.
Of course, I'd rather it didn't come to that. But you would have done the same.
Fair enough. If it makes you feel any better, this time I literally have the threads of fate at my fingertips, so I don't think I'll die this time.
Of course you won't. I won't let you. Let's go.
Alright, fair
on.
enough.
I'm right behind you.
Anyway, that takes care of that, so there's probably still a stone somewhere out there, a lore stone to complete the set, but I just... Nope. Don't care to get it. Just gonna go into the court and finish this up. What the funniest part is when I started this project, I was going to make a suggestion, in vain, mind you, but still a suggestion, that some of those, like, really popular challenge video YouTubers play this game, because I don't think anybody does. But, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, honestly.
You don't understand, do you? The power of Yes! Return to your grave!
Oh, you're just going to cut yourself off? Alright, then. Don't actually know. I was going to say if that's the real one. He makes clones of himself. So that's cool.
Child of dust!
Oh, good. And there's fiery death going on in this thing as well. Ooh, okay. Well, it's a good thing I know how to sprint. Are you ever going to come down? There you go. Unfortunately, I don't think Gadflow has any, like, iframes, like... Or not iframes, but, like, super armor, like the Kerr does. So if you can get him into a string of attacks, I mean, he'll eventually, like, teleport away from you, but... like that. But you can pretty easily just lock him back down if you have Harpoon and stuff like that, so... Guess they've got about, I would say about 800 health. These ones, so not too hard to lock them down. Okay, over there he went. When this happens, generally sticking to the sides is a good idea because then you can kind of get around his mines pretty easily. And then just tank these for some light damage, get some shots off while you're at it. If you have a bow. Which I do.
Tremble, child of dust.
Lock him in the corner. Probably should be getting like a frost trap off or something as well. But...
lend me your power.
like that. Oh, and he might also not be the guy with the red glow around him, to be fair. Like, that might be how you tell which one's which, but I don't care. I'm just going to take them all out to begin with, just so that they're out of my way. Oh, good. Got some nice damage off there. Yeah, if you sprint, you should be able to just barely get away from those as he does them, so... Again, ranged weapons, very useful in this game, because you can get some pot shots off when he does stuff like this, so...
Crumble, child of dust.
Here, I was hoping I'd get the last shot off on him before we do this again. Oh well. Let's take care of the guys that he's got with him. And then, after they're dead, we'll go take care of the big guy himself. Oh, you got really far away from me there, didn't you? Oh, okay, well. I don't know where Aelin is. I don't care where Aelin is. I'm gonna knock this guy out of his last HP while he's in the middle of his fire attack. Guess he has to finish it. Oh, never mind. He doesn't have to finish it.
An illusion.
Oh.
Something's not... If Gadflow isn't here, then he must be hiding further underground. Someplace closer to the source of the Prismere.
Probably. So that would, yeah, make him closer to Tyrnach then.
Definitely. The war's not over yet.
But I see a
Whatever
chest.
bargain Gadflow made with Tyrnach, it's about to pay off. When that happens, the world will not be spared her wrath.
Yeah, but that's only if we let her escape. Have a little faith, Aelin.
She's imprisoned deep in the Amathin, but Gadflow's war has weakened her bonds. There's no time to spare. If she gets free, our world is lost.
You say that like it's actually gonna happen.
Let's go.
Alright, anyway, so we gotta head back out. And that's what we'll go do after I loot, I guess, Winter's Respite from here. So I suppose if you didn't have a shield to go with the Vengeance set, here's one that's actually probably random, so probably doesn't really help you. In any case, this shield sent as a gift to Rathir on the eve of the Elf-Fae War is one of only a few tokens of support from the Wild Alfar to their Docklefar kin. Alright then. Yeah, I guess I'll just Prismere lockpick this one. Curious of Crucible, another Might set. This one's random though, so obviously a lot harder to get. Thera Adwoldus commissioned this from her beloved companion, the Docklefar Master Armorer, Neri Conir. Cool. But that being said, we didn't take out Gadflow, so that means we don't get anything from him.
Captive deep in the Amathin, but her prison is weakening by the moment.
Naturally. That's probably why all these Prismeer crystals are springing up around us and causing the game to drop frames. Hold on a second. Air catching in my throat. I need to make sure the quest is going before she has a chat with me, Tiernock, rather than Aelin. Let's use some of our repair kits and just do this one last time. There we go. And I have more if we need them, but we shouldn't.
Full of fate. What have you done?
Your death? I feel like you should be able to feel that too, considering I'm literally wearing radioactive armor and hammer here. Like, I'd feel like you'd feel the radioactive magic.
The
But
Tiernock's eyes upon us.
you need to stop being so superstitious. Just because she's all powerful doesn't mean that... Oh. Oh, okay.
Let's have a taste.
Splinter of Fate.
This is your end.
Let's see how you feel about getting hit by the real thing, Splinter of Fate. Not so good, but I guess I took my fate back.
You've stolen and turned it against you.
That's a neat trick.
Perhaps it is not inaccurate to think of her as a god.
Yeah, but what does that matter? See, this is what I'm talking about, right here. I just wasted a Prismeer lockpick for this. And I get shit that I would have gotten at level 1. Fix your fucking loot tables, guys out there and gals out there that are making Western RPGs. Make it so that if I'm going to bother with picking the locks on something that's difficult, I'm rewarded for it. Jesus, it's not that hard. Sorry, I'm being hyperbolic about it, but it's still not that hard. Just make me feel rewarded for the things that I do if there's effort involved. Okay, maybe the loot just sucks here. I don't know. But either way. Is there anything beyond these randomly placed pots? No, just... nothing particular.
Prisoned here since before your kind emerged from the dark. My freedom cross here.
Yeah, I don't know why they imprisoned you for so long for no godforsaken reason, because you weren't mad when they imprisoned you. Maybe they just feared your power, but it was kind of shitty of them to do. That being said, you inviting that on everybody else is probably not a great idea either. Oh, and I forgot about this. Yeah, they actually literally just hand you a Prismeer weapon if you haven't picked up a Prismeer weapon appropriate to your class yet, so... It says received staff, but if you look at the staff that they just gave you, here's a crude ebony staff. So it's a crude version of a Prismeer weapon, obviously. So it's not incredible, but it will be well enough. It will be good enough for you to take care of business and like take care of the rest of the game with it. So there you go. Or you could just wait till now to grab a Prismeer weapon, then go all the way back out and blacksmith it. By disenchanting it, or salvaging it, sorry. I keep saying disenchant like this is Skyrim. Longbow, daggers, and a buckler. So there's another one for you. But yeah, salvage that, get the piece out of it, the main component. And then just go from there. So what, do you think I'm gonna do it? The fuck out of here. I mean, I will, so I can kill you once and for all, actually, to be fair, but, you know.
Don't listen. You're the only one who has the power to stop her.
It's distinctly possible that what she means by that is that I'm also the one who's going to be the reason she's freed. So, also, I guess you get quite a few to choose from. There's like 2 hammers here as well. So that's cool. And there's your crude Prismeer longsword. So, yeah, you can... but again, you can actually just take the component out of this if you salvage this, and then you can turn it into a fine Prismeer longsword when you mastercraft it, so... that is perfectly fine. Not for me, though. I mean, we have 6 in longswords, but it doesn't matter. We've got so much damage on this thing that I'm just gonna stick with what we've got. Again, tons of Prismeer around here, though. So if you need the Prismeer dust for your potions or something. dumb.
And you were so eager to play your role.
Your better use from me was having me come here and kill you? Oh, okay. That was cool, I guess. Oh, I see. It's a mage. That's why, because the mage is using chakrams against me.
This is your
That being said, there hasn't been a single enemy in the game so far that has figured out how to beat spin to win, so...
What does she mean by that?
I wonder if she means that I decided from the grave to come back to life. Boots of the Zodiac. Our probably final set piece. A gift from a Mysterial Brewmaster. Aged in a cask of mead, this armor radiates magical power and sweet potent fumes of fermented honey. So you'll get drunk off of the smell of your leather armor. Interesting. What, there's only stabs here for Prismeer stuff? What about scepter users? Maybe I just ran past the scepter, honestly. Whatever. Had we done might and magic, I probably would have, or might and sorcery, I probably would have used a scepter instead of a bow, honestly. I feel like that was would have been a pretty good thing to use. It does the same sort of thing as, I think that's the second Hammer of Light we've seen. It does the same sort of thing as actually, like, bows do. It's just that it uses magic, so it uses up your mana in order to shoot the projectiles, rather than the arrow count. So.
Only you have the power to reseal Tirnoch inside the Amethyst. I must keep the secret of her existence from the world. Once Tirnoch is pushed back into her prison, these caverns must be sealed.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that leaves one question. Can I trust you to keep Tirnoch's secret?
I'm still reeling from the fact that she brought me back to life to begin with. Like, why would she, first of all, why would she bring me back to life to serve some greater purpose that she's talking about that will never come to pass, because there is no greater purpose. They never elaborate on it. And second of all, I literally have the power to kill her because of the ability, my ability to manipulate the threads of fate. So why bring me back if that was going to be the price you paid for bringing me back? Like, I don't understand. I do know that I'll keep the secret, though, because this shit doesn't need to get out again.
That is excellent. After all that you've done, it would have been a shame for you to die a second time.
Yeah, I'll say.
If you do escape, I will be watching you. And know this, anyone who learns the truth of what happens here, I will silence myself.
That's
Go.
Cool and all, but it's not like I'm going to tell
Fully
anyone.
entering this world. But remember, my blades will always be at your back.
So, any thoughts that you have? Any last-minute advice on fighting a dragon? We haven't fought a dragon in this game yet.
Nothing in the world is fated to stop Tirnoch. That's why you're the only one who has a chance. I'm just here to make sure you take it.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
This way.
So that's it. We just have to face Tirnoch and complete our mission to keep her from ending the world. So let's not waste too much time. Let's head into the throne room and take care of business.
There's no turning back now.
Well, yeah, I'll say, look at this place. It's like the gaping maw of Tartarus in here. And here I am without my Artemis boosts. I don't even know if that's an appropriate Hades reference. I've never played Hades. I'm still a little bit salty about the fact that they basically threw Pyre under the bus and for the sake of Hades, but what do I know?
Sacrifice yourself and seal the fate of your world.
What, did you not have access to this power beforehand? Are there powers even a god can't reach?
It's time to choose your fate.
You done with the one-liners, Aelin? We got a job to do. Let's go do it. Credit where it's due.
Lies beyond. This is
I'll give
where
the game
dragon
credit
will
for
reach the veil.
rendering the armor in
Come
cutscene,
forward,
no matter
mortals.
what you wear.
Behold the birth of Tirnoch.
attend your final hour.
My fate does not lie beyond those doors. You alone may change what is to come. Go!
Alright, fair enough. I'll be right back. Just watch my back, in case Gadflow decides to try something tricky. Bright light! Bright light!
Ah, yes. Welcome back, mortal.
Really brought out the parade for me this time, didn't you,
How does
Gadflow?
it feel, I wonder, to return to this place?
Wish I could remember. It was so
Does the
forgettable the
pain
first
of
time.
your death still linger? Can you feel it echo through the air?
All I can hear is you blabbering.
And now, in this place, you shall witness the birth of Tirnach, the destruction of the Alpha, and the dawn of the endless winter.
I notice you guys are all about the destruction of the Alfar,
Come,
but that's only 2 out of the 4 races of
Tirnach,
Amalur.
the powerful.
Like, did you expect the rest of us not to rise up against you? Even if you killed all of them?
Tirnach,
You're not listening to me, are you?
Tirnach.
Of course not. Alright, where's the dragon? There's the dragon. Quite a fire lit in her eyes. What, were you not expecting her to be this big? She's not a Pokemon, there, Gadflow.
Have I done well, lady? Are you pleased? Is it... Did I...
What, are you gonna simp for her now?
But
Yes.
I have so much more to give.
And that's what you get for simping for a giant dragon.
Now, faithless one, you shall serve yours.
Dinner is served, Tirnach. And frankly, I got a plate full for you. So now it's the final boss fight against Tirnach herself. Before you can do anything to her, she stole all your fate bar, even if you come in here with a full fate bar. So you have to get fate in order to, get her back. If you want to get more fate, you can break these crystals around the arena, and it will give you a little bit more fate. So I don't know what she was planning just there, but I guess I dodged out of the way of it. You sure about that? Because I think I'm doing a pretty good job so far of keeping you on the ropes. And I think the crystals come back after a while as well, so that's cool. Okay, well those hurt a little bit, but nothing I can't handle. I mean, my health regen will have them me back to full before I even have a chance of taking damage again, so... The physical splinters, by the way, the ones that use long swords, those actually will resist your physical attacks, so... I think the important part here, though, is to use your fate bar once you're full. So, I think I'm full now, but I'll take care of the splinter first before I do the rest of this. Like, that's the implication that they have here. I don't think they're going to tell you outright to use your fate bar, but we have it, so we might as well use it. And that will blast her, and let you whack her upside the head with your attacks. And apparently 2 hits is enough to send her reeling to her next spot, so that's...
Yes!
Oh good, 2 splinters this time. This one's the mage one as well, so I'd much rather actually fight the mage first. Yeah, didn't really dodge those the way that I was hoping to, but that's okay. I guess that one's not going to give me any fate. This one over here to my right, over by the mouth there, will give me fate, though. Okay, that one's a mage, so never mind. That one's whatchamacallit's a finesse one. So the finesse one will use smoke bomb, I guess. So that's cool. Stun is still overpowered, though. So, use that for what you will. Oh, I've already got full fate bar. Alright. Have some more, Tiernock. The second course is served. I don't know how far down we have to get her, but I guess that's pretty good. I don't know, it just feels like the bosses in this game don't have enough health. Like, it feels like she should be taking longer, like, because the Baylor took no time at all, to be fair. Although that might also just be because of the fact that, you know, she's, well, you know, being hit by Prismeer attacks, which is a lot more difficult to take. Okay, takes care of that. Back to this. Again. You keep giving me more fate here, Tiernock. It's not really going to work out for you if you keep this up. And there you go. Alright, ready for the Great Beyond? I'll be honest, Tiernock, this game has drained me so much I didn't even think of a one-liner before this, but that's okay, because in a minute, you'll never be thinking again either. GG.
How could
She
we have
needed more
known
health.
that this would be a new beginning? I wonder now if we should have foreseen this outcome, but who knew then what fate would bring?
Man, the frame rate in this is worse than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
To see you
today.
one final time. That, however, would have been complicated.
Why? People in Rathier
The
don't
order
like
to
you?
which I belong had other plans. Were you ever to leave the Crystalline Fortress?
How could they ever have
comes
expected
to
me to do
London,
that?
It seems no fate is written in stone.
I mean, not anymore.
It was only through my assurances that your silence could be counted upon, that either one of us still draws breath.
Boy, they would have regretted that
least
immediately if they
will
had
not
killed us.
Make of me a liar. Were stories of what we have seen to begin to surface in the inns and taverns of Amalur, I would be asked to seek you out. And as we both know, the next time you die, there will be no return.
I love how even at the end of the
But
game,
let us
she is
not speak of
absolutely
this.
100%
You are
assured of the
alone.
fact that she could murder
Go
you
now,
25 different
And see
ways,
what fate may bring you,
no matter
or
what.
fate you may bring. Perhaps one day in happier times, you and I will meet again. Until that day, I remain yours, Aelin Share.
Well, we can't see Aelin again, but we can see the credits, because that's the game, everybody. Oh. I just need to let it wash over me here. Let it set in that it's over with, because... Like, okay, there are games that we've played for the stream, and there will be games that we will play for the stream where I play them despite the fact that I despise them for two reasons. One, because they're games that I played previously and I still have memories of them, even if the memories are bad. And this is supposed to be like a holistic, all-encompassing list. It's curated, but that doesn't mean all the curations are good. There has to be some give and take here. Absence of goodness makes the heart grow fonder for it, so then all the S-tier games hit all the harder when you play them. I don't think this was one of those games where I despise it. I just think they dragged Grant Kirkhope into this. Are you kidding me? Oh, poor Grant. How could they do this to him? Sorry. Anyway, yeah, this isn't a game where I go into it and I'm like, I despise this game. It's going in F tier immediately. This is the first rule of Piranha Bytes again. I don't think I feel that way about it. I think it has a potential base that it could work from in order to make things interesting, but it's just so goddamn boring to play. Like, the main gameplay loop, I mean, okay, so you can increase your number of different moves, but all the enemies are like the same. They don't do anything different. As soon as you've seen the special attack that any given enemy does, that's what they will do for the rest of the entire game. So once you know how to dodge it, or you know how to parry it, or you know how to do any of that stuff, it's like, okay, every time I see this thing, it's going to be the same thing. So that, and again, that is not hard to do either. Parrying in this game is very forgiving. The window is very large. Dodging doesn't really work very well because there's no iframes on the dodge, but doesn't really matter, excuse me, because a lot of enemies, the attacks aren't like sweeping to the point where they can catch you off guard in a lot of cases, right? So like a lot of enemies, they just have situations where you can just open them up and then just wail on them until they fall over. And I don't know, it just feels like there isn't enough there to really like justify the number of hours that you put into this game. And we only put in like 38 hours total. And I feel like at this point, there wasn't enough justification. And it's only 38 hours, which again is only like 10 more hours than, let's say, Champions of North. Some of the games that this game took inspiration from, EverQuest, like any of the EverQuest games really. And Champions of North and Champions Return to Arms are included in that. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is included in that. That being said, I don't think they necessarily took the inspiration directly from the single-player EverQuest games. I think they took it from the EverQuest MMO. And that's a problem, because MMO design is fundamentally different from single-player game design. There's different systems that you have to account for, there's different methods that you go through a gameplay loop with, and generally when you get into an MMO, there's an expectation there. It's like, okay, I know this is going to be a greater grind than what I would get out of a normal game, right? Because generally that's what you get out of all of this stuff. You get a little bit more of a grind out of an MMO, or you get a little bit more of an expansive open world with large numbers of quests that you can go through and do. And I don't really think that they really fully got that out of what they were trying to do here. Like, it feels like what they tried to do is they tried to balance a single-player game with an MMO's mechanics, and they ended up getting something that only scratched the surface of either one of those. And I don't know, it just doesn't really do it for me in any possible capacity. Again, it's just really boring to play. A lot of the side stuff that you can do doesn't really give you a ton of experience. Like, we're level 31 at the end game here, and we only did a very small smattering of side quests. There's some alliteration for you. And because we only did a small amount, it tells you basically that a lot of the experience in this game is centralized on the main quest. Again, if you did just the main quest stuff, you'd be level 26 right now. When you boot back up after all the credits here, you'd be level 26. So that means that all the other side quests in the game across 265 hours of gameplay, let's say, maybe even more, it might be closer to 270 because the main story of this is probably about 30 hours long. 270 more hours of gameplay would only get you 14 levels. And that's, like, excessively low. To the point where I don't understand what, like, the side quest stuff has to feel like it's giving you something and getting you, I don't know, something at least somewhat comparable to what you get out of the main quest in order for it to feel like story-wise or experience-wise or loot-wise or any of that sort of stuff. And it's just, it's so surface level. Like, there's so much about this game that's just surface level. The loot isn't leveled when you do more difficult unlocking or dispelling of stuff, which dispelling is just like, oh my god, okay, don't even get me started. But, yeah, so the loot's not particularly interesting or leveled when you get it out of chests that are locked. You get so much money that it's really difficult to, balance the economy because of how much money you get just from selling off all of the crazy loot that you get. You don't really need potions particularly badly because HP regen is busted. Armor itself that you can make with blacksmithing is super overpowered, even with middle-of-the-road components like what we had at the end of the game. And even if you're not bothering with all of that stuff, There are plenty of opportunities throughout the game for you to just get really solid armor if you wait long enough. Like, if you had waited until, I think it's level 32 to beat the game, and you beat the final quest of the factions that we didn't do, like the Warsworn for Might, the Scholia Arcana for Sorcery, although you get that whole Sorrow set from doing the House of Sorrows as well, so you could just do that. But the Scholia Arcana you could do for Sorcery, and then the Travelers for Finesse. If you wait to do those until near endgame, you'll get an endgame appropriate armor set from those as well. But it's not even just a matter of the way that the gameplay mechanics work, it's also a matter of just like the way that the game's story flows. It feels stiff, right? It feels wooden sometimes, because just there's cliches that they draw upon over and over and over and over and over again, like this character betrays you at the 11th hour for power because they think they can change something even though their fate's been written and they don't have fate powers like you do. Fate itself isn't really very well explained in this one either, where it doesn't really say, well, if you kill the guys even when you're outside of Fate mode, they're never coming back. Like, are the Tuatha that I've been killing, are they just respawning? Because that's what the Fate do, basically. They go to the afterlife, they respawn. When they go to Ashara, are they causing trouble for the people that we helped in the House of Sorrows quests? Like, what? There's so many questions that you're left with, and every time that the game introduces something new, it feels like it's flashing like a shiny new toy in front of you, but it doesn't explain to you how the toy works. It just gives it to you. You play with it for 5 minutes, you have 20 questions about how it works, and then it flashes a new toy in front of you, and a new one, and a new one, because it just says, no, just keep moving. Stop, don't question the things that we do here, because frankly, we didn't have enough time to really think this shit through. Because we were on a crunch in terms of our time. We bled money. This game literally bled money. It spent almost $200 million over the course of its development time. And frankly, by the time the game came out, they were almost defaulting on their loan with the state of Rhode Island. At some point in time, the state of Rhode Island was looking to own this game. A United States, state was going to own a game like this, but they didn't end up actually doing it because they had to settle the whole thing out of court. It just settled like 2 years ago as well, like the whole process, and I think they ended up paying back less than... It was definitely less than the loan amount for sure. But they borrowed like 125 million or 175 million. And the state of Rhode Island said, okay, well, we'll give you this loan, but you have to move your location here, your office is here, and you have to generate 450 jobs over the next 2 years. And they said, no problem, we'll do it. They borrowed the money, and they got like a third of those jobs in 2 years of time, while bleeding through all of that money, along with $50 million of Kurt Schilling savings. And this was the result. So the moral of the story here, obviously, is that you can't just throw money at a project and expect it to come out the other side polished and super awesome, even if you have the best talents that you could have on it. They had a good writer, they had a good artist, they had good ideas. But if you don't follow through on those things and give people enough time to actively, engage with the things that they're creating, because you're either crunched, or because you're moving your offices, or because you're bleeding money like crazy because you don't know how to take care of your company properly. If you don't give people the right environment to really, foster all of the things that you put into these games, it's going to end up looking like this. It's going to be surface level, it's going to be barely detailed, it's going to have a ton of questions that you'll never get the answer to, and it's not going to be particularly fun to play. So, I'm not going to put this in F tier, even after all the things I said there, because I think there is potential there for it to have good things. It's just they don't really follow through on it. But it doesn't actively piss me off just by existing. And to be fair, the whole bleeding money thing almost gives me like a morbid fascination towards this game. Again, it's like watching a train wreck in motion. It's terrible. And people are losing their jobs from this. And in the case of a train wreck, they're dying because of this. But you just can't look away from it, you know? So that's the way that I feel about Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. It's one of the reasons why I didn't want to play Re-Reckoning, because even though it's got the shiny new updated graphics, I wasn't going to play anything more than the main story anyway. I wasn't going to invest in there's DLC for this game. They released 2 DLCs somehow in the space of the 3 months after this game came out. because I guess they had new ideas that they figured they could bleed more money through. Like, I don't know where they were getting the money at that point. They were basically defaulting on their loans at that point. But and then they released it under THQ Nordic's banner. When they acquired the IP, they released Re-Reckoning. They released a DLC for that. It's called Fatesworn, and the impression that I got was that it increased the level cap to 50, and it's about as entertaining as watching paint dry. So, mildly less entertaining than this game it was just by itself. So that's fun, but it's a reason why I didn't want to play Re-Reckoning, because I was like, I don't think the shiny new graphics and the potential frame rate consistency is going to save this game. So since it's not going to, I'm not even going to bother. Anyway, all that being said, yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. It's like as low of a not a fan as I could possibly give. If anything in D tier goes below this, it's probably going to go straight to F tier, honestly. So it's not like, again, it doesn't actively piss me off just by existing, but there are times when it gets pretty close. And honestly, those times are actually few and far in between, because the vast majority of the time, it tastes so tapioca when I think about it and I eat it. When I consume this video game, it's just so tapioca on my palate that it practically puts me to sleep. And I'm glad that it's over, because every time I've been coming to the stream with this one, I feel drained by the end. Like, I took a vitamin B12 earlier today, and I already have a small headache just from playing this one. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. We have one last twist of fate that we've been awarded for our efforts here. Let me turn the controller back on. There we go. Destiny Defiant. You defeated Tirnoch and ended the Crystal War. The enormity of these events will resound throughout Amalur forever. As a result of your actions, the world is now free from the constraints of merciless fate. Somehow, I don't know how that happened, because I don't know if that means that Tirnoch was keeping everybody's fate sealed, or I don't think the game explains it. Let's find out, because I think Agarth's going to talk to us once I get off this Twist of Fate screen, but excuse me. At least we get 5% damage resistance out of this, and extra 10% mana and health. That's not awful, I guess. But anyway, we're back in Rathir now that we're done with that whole thing. So I guess we'll just head out.
Well, awake at last. You gave us quite a scare.
To be fair, I didn't expect to be walking around right now.
So who are we to complain?
So what happened that I got was the cave collapsing? Is that what happened? I mean, I kind of put myself through the roof of Tirnoch's mouth, but
I was hoping you could tell us. Sidon and I were fighting a few remaining stragglers when all of a sudden they started this unholy wailing.
Yeah, that was probably the Prismir in their heads screaming as Tirnoch died and was sent straight to hell.
And ran away. There are still a few diehards, but they don't have the fire in them, you know?
We couldn't get them off the map to take their spawns away, so we just said, there's just a few stragglers. You'd think they all would have dropped dead or something.
Make sure you were okay.
She carried me over her shoulder? Never mind, maybe she is dangerous.
But I know better than to read a private message from the likes of her.
Yeah, that could probably end with some problems. So, what's next for you then, Agarth?
There are still Tuatha who refuse to surrender, but yes, the war is ended. You should have seen the parade in Rathir.
I slept through the parade?
As for what's next, well, that's a tough question. See, a lot of the soldiers asked me for readings after the fighting ended, and try as I might, I can't see a fate for any of us.
So I broke fate because I stopped Tirnoch?
Tirnoch? You don't expect me to think that Gadflow's god was real, do you? No.
As usual, deflecting questions.
Whatever happened down there, though, it changed everything. At least for now.
Uh-huh. I don't particularly think any of that is anything I care about, so I guess that's where this ends. On no answer at all. So that's awesome.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. I think you get this building. if I remember correctly. Like, you can use it as a player home now. But that's fine. I didn't need an answer anyway. I already knew where I was going to go with all of this because, frankly, at this point, this armor is probably the only thing keeping me sustained. So, I will do the last thing that I know how to do. Apparently, I'm still in Bale, even though I'm in Rathir. So that's awesome. I'll do the last thing I can do in order to take my fate and shove it, which is fast travel into the Cradle of Summer, one of the more beautiful areas that we've gone to. I'm going to take this armor off, and I'm going to put the House of Ballad's armor on, and I'm going to sit at this tree until I pass on from the cycle. I'm pretty sure people weren't supposed to come back from the dead, so let's just keep it that way, shall we? So, that's going to do it for Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, the Stream Edition. I hope you all enjoyed the time that we had here. I can't say that I... you know what I'll do, actually, before I do this? Let's just make this pristine with my last aid repair kits. There we go. But yeah, that's going to do it for Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, the Stream Edition. The war is over. I'm putting my weapons away. And I'm putting this stuff on instead. I will probably die almost immediately after this all goes over, but that's okay. Because I've done what I needed to do. And that's all that really matters now, isn't it? Unfortunately, I can't have a seat with these Fae, but I'll cross my legs and fall asleep at the base of the tree once I exit the screen. Anyway, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. I can't say that I particularly enjoyed it. There were some moments where I was like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool of me, because I did like a cool dodge or something like that, but there'll be games like this, right? There'll be games where you just sort of don't have as much fun with them, especially in the wake of other games like Infamous 2, Tales of Xillia 2. But we can move on now from this project, so that's what we will do. And that is exactly the plan when we come back for the next stream, which will be either next Monday or next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I haven't figured out which yet. I'll figure it out when I'm not dying as I write the schedule for next week, which I'll post up shortly after I get the description for this one all said and done. So, until I see you next week for the next game we'll be playing, or wherever I see you next around the internet, I hope that you'll take care and have a good one. This is the part where if I was playing a different Western RPG, one that was actually developed in Japan, now that I think about it, I would take out the weapon that you get about halfway through the game that allows you to literally kill yourself to reset loot tables, and I would just use it, but I guess I don't get to have that luxury, so I get to die slowly. Right here, in the beauty of the Cradle of Summer. So I guess I'll just, stand here and wait until fate is done with me. Any minute now. Any minute now.